What's up, YouTube? 50 Mile Per Hour Man here. I have a battle today against MTG XERXES, and he was wandering around the Abbers Asylum chat, and he wanted a battle, so I challenged him. I started off with a Rose Raid, and I figured Fire Blast was too obvious, so I just set up the Stealth Rocks. And I wanted to save my Ape, and I figured Stealth Rocks was coming, so I switched out to my Salamence. But it wasn't, so I got the Intimidate. I got the Intimidate off, and he just goes straight for the Waterfall, I guess, trying to break my stash. So Waterfall barely does any damage, and he withdraws his Swampert, and he goes into a Blissey. And I should have known this was coming because he uses Blissey a lot. And I go for the Draco Meteor. And due to Blissey's very high special attack and HP, it takes it very nicely. But it actually does more damage than I thought I would. When I first went for it and it came in, I thought I was barely going to do any damage, but got some nice damage on it. So right here I was predicting the T-Wave. I wouldn't think he'd have Toxic on it because he had Rose Raid for Toxic Spikes. So I was predicting T-Wave, so I went into Noir to take the T-Wave because it's really not affected by it. So now I'm paralyzed. And so he gets his Leftovers recovery, and he withdraws his Blissey and goes back into his Rose Raid. And I think right here I went for the Will-O-Wisp, but I missed. Yeah, I went for the Will-O-Wisp and it misses. So he sets up his first layer of Toxic Spikes as I use Ice Punch. So the Ice Punch hits it down to red health, and I don't think he was expecting Shadow Sneak, because I don't really think a lot of Noirs carry it now. Most of them carry Ice Punch and Earthquake or something like that. But I just use Shadow Sneak and take it out. So he sends his Swampert back out now. And he withdrew his Swampert. And I figured as soon as I saw him withdraw it, he was going into a Heatran, and that is what he goes into. So go for the Will-O-Wisp, and it gives him a Flash Fire boost. So now I switch out, and I go into Infernape, and it gets Toxic Poisoned as he sets up a Substitute. And my goal was to just take out the sub and then kill it off with Mince. So go for the close combat. Obviously it breaks the sub. And he goes for the Earth Power after my defenses get lowered. He goes for the Earth Power. And we were talking about this play after the battle was over. And he said he should have just kept subbing until he got the Slack Berry. But he was trying to catch up from the beginning when I had his Roserade switch out. So he said he was making some kind of awkward plays that he usually wouldn't make. So now I go into my Salamence, and I figured Earthquake was too obvious, so I was going to go for Draco Meteor and decided against it because if the Blissey came in, Earthquake would do more damage anyway. So I just went straight for the Earthquake, and the Heatran is obviously one-hit KO'd by Life Orb Mix Mince. So his Heatran goes down, and I take Life Orb Recoil. Now he goes back into his Swampert, and his Swampert's taking 2 Stealth Rocks hits, and I ran a calc for the Smogon from Smogon, and max is 91% damage. So I just decided to go for it, and it takes it all the way down, and I believe the health would have stopped about right there, maybe leaving him with 30 or 40, but I get a crit. So now the Swampert faints because of the crit, and he goes into his Jolteon, and I figured this thing would have HP Ice, and I figured he'd use HP Ice. So I switch into my special wall, which is my Snorlax, and he goes for the fake tears, which I've actually seen more common lately. But the day before this battle, I faced the Jolteon that was using fake tears, and I know I can survive a hit after being hit by fake tears. I know I can survive a stab Thunderbolt. So he T-bolts me, and since I can't get Parahacks because I'm already poisoned from the toxic spikes, I know I'm going to be able to get it off. So this is my Curselax, and it packs Explosion, or not Explosion, Self-Destruct. So I Self-Destruct on his Jolteon, and that's going to KO it easily. So his Jolteon goes down as well as my Snorlax. So I send in my Metagross as he sends in his Blissey, and I didn't know what his last was at this point, but I ran some calculations, and max damage on this thing was 550 something. Minimum damage was 496, and he said he was about 480s, 470s, somewhere in there. So my first mash missed, and he went for counter, and I had to hope that it would KO, or otherwise I would be completely owned. So the mash does hit the second time, and after the 3 years it takes for Blissey's health to go down, it's finally knocked out. So now he goes into his last, which is Scizor, and I was thinking, please be choice banded, please be choice banded, please be choice banded. And I just go for the mash because I'm choice banded, but it's actually SD. But it really doesn't matter looking at my team. But I go for mash, and I didn't think it would do I didn't think it would do too much, but it does about half. Excuse me. Did about half. So he goes for the Bug Bite, and at +2 stabbed from Scizor, and he might +2 stab Life Orb Scizor is easily going to KO me. At first I thought he got a crit. I thought I'd live it, but I don't. So now I go out into my Mints, because I was hoping, because I'd get the Intimidate, so it'd only be +1. And then I take it back, and I go to my Dusknoir, and he very nicely predicted that, and he sets up another Swords Dance. So then he goes for the Bullet Punch, as I went for the Shadow Sneak, but since his priority beats my priority, he gets his off first, and I don't think it KOs me. Yeah, it does KO me. He gets a crit. That crit did matter. It would have left me with, I think, 40, 50 HP, somewhere in there. So I would have been able to get a Shadow Sneak off and do some more damage. But at this point, I send out the Gyarados, and it's good game because Gyarados completely walls Scizor, even at +2. So he just goes for the Bullet Punch, trying to get damage in. And I could have Dragon Danced, but I didn't. This is bulky Gyara, and he takes Life Orb damage, and the Waterfall is going to easily KO his Scizor. And down it goes. So good game, MTG XERXES. It was a good battle. Had fun, and hopefully we can do a rematch sometime. Guys, thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, subscribe, and peace.